I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I'll tell funny stories from my past or go on a rant in an effort to make you laugh. So in the past, I have talked about customers and how annoying they can be. Annoying habits, annoying questions, annoying complaints. But yet, I've only touched a little bit on what can be just as annoying. When they're not being mean, they're not complaining, they're not asking you stupid questions. But it can be really, really annoying when customers are desperately trying to be funny. Again, the only time I've really talked about it, where they do that stupid joke when something doesn't ring up right away and they go, well then it's free! But trust me, that is not the only joke that they tell over and over and over again to the point of annoyance that was never funny in the first place. And I can actually talk about one customer, one in particular, at the last retail place I worked at in California, who was really bad about all this. Every time he came in, whether he came to my register or someone else's register, he would do the exact same jokes, the exact same order. There was one he would change up a little bit for my sake, because I was so lucky, which we will get to. But not just him, so many customers did these exact same jokes all the freaking time. The first one, of course, I'm sure every one of you who have worked in retail, or even just worked any job, if you didn't have customers doing this, you had a coworker doing this. And it was always his opener, as he would walk up to the register, again, mine or someone else's, and say, "Hey there, working hard or hardly working?" Now, the thing that was most annoying about this guy is you had to acknowledge him. Like, he was that kind of person that if you didn't acknowledge him in some way or another, he'd explain it to you. Even if a joke is funny, if it has to be explained to you, it's no longer funny. It's why my brother and I constantly say,
we don't care if you get it.
We don't. That's real. You get the joke, you don't get the joke, whatever. Not going to explain it. But this guy would. If you didn't laugh or at least acknowledge him in some way or another, he would just repeat himself. I said, are you working hard or hardly working? And again, I don't do the courtesy laugh. Like some people do, I don't go like, oh, working hard or hardly working? So funny. No. I just go straight to the eye rolling. But in an attempt to acknowledge him, when he would walk up to me and go, hey buddy, working hard or hardly working? Even though what I'm thinking is, I'm hardly laughing. You think I haven't heard that joke before? Or even think I haven't heard that joke today? Obviously, just think it, don't say it. Because he was a nice guy, I didn't want to be mean to him, even though he was annoying. So I would just simply acknowledge him with, hi, how's it going? But his little way of kind of like letting me know that he didn't appreciate me not laughing would be, oh, guess you must be working hard. Sure. So then I would grab his stuff and I would start ringing it up, and out would come his next gem, which he would say every single time, which I've heard a million times from a million different customers, which is, so is today the day everything's free? Nope, not today. Again, wanting me to laugh like, oh, you're so crazy. But no, not going to do it. But I had to acknowledge him, or he was either going to repeat himself or explain it to me as if I didn't get the joke. But he'd still express a little bit of his displeasure that I didn't laugh by going, I know, they wouldn't just let everything be free. Then, for me particularly, a nice little gem he would throw in there that sadly has happened to me before. And yes, multiple times did this. As if he hadn't have done the joke before, as if I didn't remember him doing the joke before, as if he wouldn't have remembered doing the joke before. Several times, sees my name badge, that it says Davy, and has to go, so, Davy, is your last name Crockett? Yeah, original. And again, I can't be mean to him, although at that point I really want to. I just have to suck it up and say, nope, not Crockett. And like I said, I've had that from so many customers. So many customers have asked me if my last name was Crockett. Or if they don't ask me Crockett, they ask, Davy, huh? Is your last name Jones? Now the worst part about it is I can't bring myself to laugh at this. So all I can do is say no and hope they don't follow up. Because whether it's Jones or Crockett, once I say no, that's not my last name, they're going to follow it up with, do you know who that is? No, I have no idea who Davy Crockett is. Because clearly, with your originality, you are the absolute first person in history to ever think to ask me that stupid question. Same with Jones. No, don't know who Davy Jones is. Again, you're that original. No one else has ever asked me that. And all I can do is acknowledge that, yes, I know who they are. Yes, I know who Davy Crockett is. Politician, soldier, fought and died in the Alamo, became a folk hero. Jones. Yes, I know who Davy Jones is. Whether you're talking about the monkey or the pirate, I know who it is. Sorry you actually thought that you were the first person in history to ask me that question, but you're not. And some of you may be going like, well, maybe if you just go by David instead of Davy, that doesn't actually help. Because there are some people out there that are so freaking unoriginal that they do this to everybody. If you have a name tag and that name is a first name that has any similarity to a celebrity, they'll ask you if that's your last name. I used to work at this one place that the name tags were generated off of your W-2, so everybody's name was just their legal name. So it said David, it didn't say Davy. It's just the way it was. If your name was Rob, your name tag was going to say Robert. If your name was Josh, it was going to say Joshua. If your name was Ken, it was going to say Kenneth. That's how it was for everybody working there. So because my name tag said David, which is a very common name, there are a ton of people out there named David. One of the reasons I go by Davy. Somebody yells David in the middle of a crowded store, like 4 or 5 people are going to turn their head at least. Somebody yells Davy, it's usually just me. But with my name tag saying David, somebody had to ask, is your last name Schwimmer? Now this was when I was a lot younger and really didn't give a crap about that job. So I was straight up like, yeah, you caught me. Yes, in between filming Friends in New York, I come over here to Reno, Nevada and start bagging groceries. Yeah, that's right. I know, I look a lot different, don't I? Because truth be told, the camera doesn't add 10 pounds, it takes away 150 and makes you look way older. But it's not just me. This happens to so many people. At the same place that somebody asked me if my last name was Schwimmer, and I basically let them have it, they did it to somebody else that worked there. His name was Dustin, and thinking they were funny, were like, Dustin, huh? Is your last name Hoffman? Yes, Dustin Hoffman is apparently only like a year older than me, because that was this guy. Whereas he plays like an older man on television, he's apparently just a blonde kid checking groceries. And even worse, at another place, we had a guy that worked there, his name was Chad. They didn't ask him about a last name. They asked him, Chad, huh? Is your first name the? The Chad. They asked him if his name was the Chad. Not even a celebrity. A character in the Charlie's Angels movie, the first one, played by Tom Green back when he was still dating Drew Barrymore. Because of that guy calling himself the Chad, they asked this guy, is his first name the? I wasn't even the one they were asking that to, and I wanted to stab them in the face. But back to the original guy I was talking about. Every time he came in, if he came to my line, he would ask me if my last name was Crockett. And every time I would tell him no, every time he would ask me, do I know who Davy Crockett is? And again, all I could do was just ignore it and tell him, yes, I know who he is. And try to get the transaction over before I got more of his gems. Because without fail, every single time he was done, because he always paid in cash, he would throw out this little gem. Do you think I could get a nickel's worth of dimes? Now I will admit, the very first time I heard this from somebody, which was not him, it did its job. It's supposed to confuse you. It's supposed to make you go like, wait, what? There is nickels worth of dimes. That's not right math. There's no nickels worth of dimes. And that's the joke. It's supposed to confuse you, make you go, oh, what? But after you've heard it once, which if you work in retail, you will hear that more than once, it's just stupid. Heck, even the first time you hear it, once you've realized what they're doing, you're just like, wow, you're stupid. This guy every single time would say that, and there was nothing I could say. There was no way to acknowledge it except for to either laugh or tell him he was stupid. And I couldn't do either one of those. One on principle, the other because I needed the job. So that one I would just not acknowledge. I would just continue to get his change handed to him, but he would repeat himself. No, I wanted a nickel's worth of dimes. And the only way I could acknowledge it was basically just to break it out for him of, that's not a thing. I've heard it before. You're just trying to confuse me. It's just a joke. Okay. Like, there was really nothing else I could say. Just, okay. And this happened over and over again. I was never really mean to him. Just acknowledged him. But also made it clear I did not find this humorous. It's just annoying, especially when he does this a couple times a week. Granted, he didn't come to my line a couple times a week. He would go to whichever one was the shortest line, but wasn't the first time I dealt with him. Wasn't the second, third, fourth, even fifth time I dealt with him by the time he finally said this to me. Man, every time I come in here, you never laugh. What does it take to get you to laugh? And I get that this was a little mean, but I was just being honest. Right after he asked me, what does it take to get you to laugh? I simply responded, being funny. He never came through my line again. So there you have it. That's my story video this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so you get notifications when I post new videos. And leave a comment. Tell me some moments you've encountered like this, where they just kept repeating unfunny jokes. Love you guys.